York's classic rock, Q1043.
Thanks, Jim. Well, today on Flight Plan, we welcome one of the newest Jets. It's defensive tackle Harrison Phillips. How you doing, Harrison?
I'm doing all right, getting adjusted here to London and getting ready to try to get our first win of the season.
Well, you've been there before. You're in a different uniform from last year when you were lined up against the Jets, and now you're back there in green. And how do you like it across the pond?
I'm 50-50 on it. I don't know from a player health and safety standpoint if it's the number one thing to do, but from
Yeah.
the growth and, almost from just opportunities, a lot of young people coming over to London, some people traveling out of the country for their first time, coming this early in the week, we're able to bond, gives a training camp vibe. Was able to do some cool things, do a little bit of sightseeing, which I haven't done previously in my trips over here. So from the personal side, it's fun to see some new things. But again, I don't know from the player health and safety side if it's always the best.
Yeah. What'd you get to see? Anything?
I did something with the team in downtown London, was in and out pretty quickly, and then was able to go over to the Warner Brothers Harry Potter experience.
Oh, neat. That's cool. You didn't get to go to Abbey Road though and do the pose across the street like the Beatles, or
Didn't get to do that, and didn't get myself to Birmingham to do some Peaky Blinders love, but that would have been fun.
One thing you got to do if you can, and you can lobby for this, you got to get into Westminster Abbey because it's crazy. Because you walk in and it's basically it's a church, but it's also a cemetery because they bury everybody under the floor. And you walk in and there's like the first four kings of England from 1,000 years ago are sitting there. They're
That's
just
pretty
there.
cool.
There's like a stone coffin in there, and they're in there. It's bizarre, but
yeah, it's interesting. It's just tough because again, I know we'll have free time this evening and had a few other pockets of free time, but aside from when we landed here and had the off day, it's the importance now is recovery, getting the game plan dialed, and winning a football game. So there's you have to balance enjoying yourself here, but realizing that you're on a work trip. So
it is
I won't
that.
put it on the bucket list. I'll put it on the bucket list for when I'm here on my own.
Yeah, off season, you do it. Hey, late add to the roster, obviously coming over from Minnesota in August. How long did it take to get in the flow of things? Are you there now? You feel good?
Yeah. Still some things in my individual game that I wish I could get out of. Kind of reverting back to some of my old habits on a few blocking schemes and things that aren't as common, but for your normal, run of the mill blocks, I am starting to play a little bit more how the scheme calls, and I feel comfortable with the play calling and getting the camaraderie of my brothers around me, which takes times too. But no real excuses, but I think there's still some growth that can happen.
Well, you get to line up next to Quinnen Williams. He's praised you, your work ethic you bring every day. What can you tell us about Quinnen that we don't know already? What's the dirt?
Well, if you don't know, Quinnen Williams is like the best defensive tackle in the NFL. One of the greatest humans, and for a player that's of that high caliber, I've really never met a player that's that high of character. And it's been incredible. I'm thankful for being able to be a teammate of his, and I'm really hopeful. I'm really hoping that I can earn the right to get a jersey swap from him at the end of the season.
Have you ever seen him not smile? The dude
Yeah,
is always smiling. He's
yeah,
always smiling.
yeah. The times that he's not smiling are appropriate, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay. Yes. That absolutely. Look, earlier this week, I heard you say what it's like building a winning organization, having gone through it in Buffalo and then again in Minnesota, and it takes time. Jets fans have been waiting a while. What do you see in this organization that tells you that we're moving in the right direction, even if the results haven't been there yet?
I think who's leading it. I think that our head coach has done a fantastic job. He's been super consistent. His messaging's been unreal, and I think that his character and his passion is shown in the small things, and the passing in between meetings in a passing, or the way that you see him when maybe he doesn't think that he's being seen, the way that he holds himself. I think that means a lot. I think the development of young players and the few veteran leaders, myself included, some of these guys who have been here or who have been brought in the last year to help the growth of the younger players, and some young players who've been here for maybe 2 or 3 years, um, see from veterans who've been in winning organizations what it might take to do that. So I know I'm being vague, but I still believe in everything that we're doing, and I'm very optimistic about the future of the Jets in the years to come.
We got to meet him at Back Together Day before you even back with the team, and I saw you said that he stares into your soul, and we got a little bit of that just interviewing for a couple of minutes. We felt that. You're a Stanford Cardinal, right? So you're a smarty pants. We do have something in common. We are both sociology majors, or
Okay.
as I like to call it, the study of the obvious. I don't know that we're using Marx and Kant and all those things in our everyday lives, but I find it useful in certain situations. Though, can you apply it to football? Can you apply your degree to football?
Yeah, I think I can apply sociology more. So I double majored and minored there. So my other major was the science of technology, and I'm not using that one as much. But I think in the sociology, you do learn a lot about the psychology behind community and like the study of groups of individuals and motivation, things like that. So I do. Um, think that I've maybe read some text back in the old days about leadership, about bonding, about community, and about motivating groups, whether it be through fear or through reward, things like that.
Yeah, I like that. Well, look, Denver this week. That's like 6 years in a row the Jets have had to play Denver, coming off a huge upset of the Super Bowl champs, thanks to their defense. But on the offensive side of the ball, they're all about the run game. J.K. Dobbins seems reborn. How do you stop the Broncos?
Yeah, I think that they're very explosive. They're doing some amazing things. It starts up front for them. They have some veteran tackles. They have one of the best guards in football. I think they might be a little banged up. We'll see how it all goes. But yeah, that 1-2 punch of the running backs are great. The play calling is obviously come from some people who've had a lot of success running the football. So I think ideally we try to make them one dimensional.
Well, not to toot your horn, but I think I saw a stat that since 2022, you have the most run tackles of anyone in the league. So I think we got the right guys up front to do that.
Mm.
You have been a multiple nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year, twice in Buffalo, right, and once in Minnesota. That's like
Yeah.
the highest honor there is. Tell us about Harrison's playmakers. That's kind of what generated it, right?
Yeah, I mean, how much time do we have? No, I mean, Cliff Notes version is, I founded Harrison's Playmakers over 10 years ago. We work with individuals with developmental differences and special needs now all across the country. I like to say my heart's unbiased. We're not just working with children and young adults with Down syndrome and autism and visually impaired, hard of hearing. We've now cast our net to cancer survivors or cancer fighters, to some of our military, our frontline workers, veterans. I do a lot with animal rescues. We just kind of say, we have a lot of love to give. So I think that one unique point that I use is that people who don't maybe come in contact with individuals with difference often can sometimes pity that population or think that they can't do things. And that's really not the case. So I try to use my platform to flip that perception and flip that negative connotation and show my playmakers doing things in the community, going and having park cleanups on the holidays around Thanksgiving. My playmakers are handing out Thanksgiving meals to veterans or former military and being, showing the world the great addition to our society that they are.
Well, that's amazing. Have you had a chance to get something going here in New York yet?
I've been able to do 2 visits. I'm also going to work with, when we get back, I'll work with the New York Special Olympics unified team, but I was able to go to Morristown, who was playing Summit. Also talk to Madison High School, who have unified programs, which are high school age kids that have differences that are playing sports. It's been so difficult navigating the trade, learning the playbook, getting my wife and son here, finding a house, learning the playbook. I'm also selling my Minnesota house. I'm building the house back in. There's just a lot of life that's going on, but that has been something that's been frustrating for me. That's an outlet that I really enjoy. I'm really about that, and was probably going to be nominated for the Vikings if I was remained there this season for another time a Man of the Year, and don't love it for the selfish ways, but because of the attention it brings to the people that I work with. And so I am excited to try to get a network here or there in New Jersey and try to shed light on how great they are.
That's amazing. Harrison, when you get that going, you let us know because here at Q1043, we'd love to help you out with anything with that for sure. All right, Harrison Phillips, it's breakfast time here. I think it's tea time there. Go get them on Sunday. Tottenham Hotspur, a special start, 9:30 a.m. kickoff Eastern. I believe that's 2:30 your time. Thanks for being on Flight Plan. Harrison Phillips, right here on Q104.3.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.